All right, imagine this for a second. It's raining non-stop, like the sky woke up today and chose violence. Your shoes are soaked, your clothes feel heavy, and somehow even the air feels wet. You think, okay, fine, I'll just make a fire. Then you pick up a stick, squeeze it, and water almost drips out. That's when you realize starting a fire in the rain is not the same skill you practiced on a calm, sunny afternoon. Humans have been dealing with this problem for thousands of years. Long before waterproof jackets and fancy gear, people still had to make fire in terrible weather because not making fire wasn't an option. That's why the methods I'm about to talk about aren't trendy tricks. They're ideas refined by survival, war, and bad luck. Let's start with one that looks almost embarrassing because of how simple it is: cotton balls and petroleum jelly. While this exact combo became popular in the 20th century, the idea itself is ancient. People have always mixed fibers with fat, animal fat, tree resin, oils, to make fire starters that burn longer. Petroleum jelly just happens to be the modern, cleaner version. Today, hikers, campers, bushcraft instructors, and even search and rescue teams use this method because it's cheap, lightweight, and insanely reliable. The jelly turns the cotton into a slow-burning fuel source. Even if rain hits it, the inside stays dry and flammable. When you light it, it doesn't rush or panic. It burns calmly, giving you several precious minutes to dry wet twigs and slowly build a real fire. Next comes the serious one: magnesium shavings with a ferro rod. This method has deep roots in military history. Magnesium fire starters became widely used during World War II because soldiers needed a fire-starting method that worked in rain, snow, and extreme cold. Magnesium burns at an insanely high temperature, and water simply cannot stop it. You scrape a small pile, strike the ferro rod, and suddenly there's a bright, aggressive flame that feels like it's personally angry at moisture. This method is still used today in military survival kits, aviation emergency kits, and extreme cold expeditions, especially in places like Alaska, the Himalayas, and Northern Europe. It's loud, bright, and incredibly effective. Just don't underestimate it. Now let's talk about the clever, slightly smug option: wax-coated tinder. This technique goes back centuries. Sailors, hunters, and early explorers used waxed rope, waxed cloth, and resin-coated fibers because water exposure was unavoidable. You couldn't ask the ocean to chill for 5 minutes while you made a fire. Today, this method is common among bushcrafters, preppers, and people who live in rainy regions where dry tinder is rare. You coat natural tinder lightly in candle wax, and suddenly it resists water and burns slowly. Even in active rain, it lights, melts, and feeds the flame long enough to dry wet fuel and build something sustainable. It's basically the survival equivalent of cheating with permission. Here's the part most people don't think about. In wet conditions, fire isn't about cooking or comfort. Historically, fire meant survival: dry clothes, warmth, protection, and sometimes even life or death decisions. People didn't rely on one method. They carried backups because experience taught them gear fails and weather doesn't care. That lesson hasn't changed. So if you remember anything from this, remember this: carry more than one fire-starting method, because when everything around you is soaked, cold, and going wrong at the same time, fire isn't optional. It's survival.